Hi guys, I wanted to make you a video so that you could see a new concept that I would like for you to be practicing for Quest Math. And this has to do with place value, it has to do with decimals, and it has to do with fractions as well. So I wanted to just go ahead real quickly over this. When you think about place value, this is something you've been working on since kindergarten, really, where you learned that if you had a number, let's just stick it simple, like 349, then place value tells you that this would be the hundreds column, the tens column, and the ones column. Okay, that's simple, right? You all know that. But when we started looking at numbers as fractions, we talked about what shape, especially with fractions, circles in your class, in your homeroom classes, we talked about this being one whole. Well, that would be the same as the ones column, right? One whole circle, one whole pizza, one whole set of something. This would be one. And then when we broke it up into something smaller, like if we use a simple fraction like half, that is half of one whole, right? So what I want to talk about today is how we can take these kinds of fractions and write them in digits using place value like this, okay? So if this is one whole, if we break that up into smaller pieces, we don't have anything over here, right? Well, we actually can. What we can do is we can put a decimal on there, and then we can put a new place value. And this new place value here would be called tenths. I hope you remember in class when you were learning fractions with your fraction circles, we talked about fourths, fifths, sixths, all those THS's because you're saying it's smaller than one whole. So today we're going to talk specifically about tenths. I could do a circle and split that into tenths. It doesn't really matter what shape we have as long as we're splitting that into 10 pieces. So it gets a little tricky to draw because there's 10. So I'm going to start with half, and I know half of 10 is 5. So if I split these, and it's not going to be exactly perfect, but it can be close. I've got 5 on this side, so I better make 5 on this side. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. So this fraction circle would show tenths, right? So if I were to color in one of these, you guys know how to do this, we could name this fraction 1/10, right? That's easy, that's nothing new, you know how to do that. So this is 1/10 written as a fraction. Well, now we can write it as a decimal too. We can say, in this case, we don't have any wholes, no ones, but we do have 1/10. So we would call this number as a decimal 1/10. It represents the same exact thing. 1/10, 1/10, 1/10. It still shows the same thing in 3 different ways to write it, okay? So if I were to, any of these numbers, if I were to write it like this, now my new number is, can you say it? I hope you said it, 3/10, because the place value to the right of the decimal is tenths. So if I were to make this picture look like 3/10, all I would have to do is color in 3 out of 10. 1, 2, 3, and now I have 3/10, okay? So we can go either way. I can give you a fraction, you can give me a picture, you can give me a decimal. I can give you a decimal, you can give me a fraction and a picture, or of course, I can give you a picture, you can give me a fraction and a decimal. All 3 of these things, so I'll change this now that I changed my picture, all 3 of these things represent the same amount, whether we do it as a picture, as a fraction, or as a decimal, okay? So we have our regular place value that we're already used to, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and so on. But we can go smaller this way, and now we have tenths to the right of the decimal, okay? So I'm going to have you practice some of these, and if you would like a little more instruction on this, there is some information on Khan Academy. I'll attach that too if you'd like to see more worked out, if you want some more examples. Okay, let me know if you have questions.